Greetings boys and gits, welcome to Dreadwire Gaming. This time I've got something special for you, something more for a beginner really, but then it might be for some of you guys that have been collecting for a long while and maybe haven't dabbled down this stream yourself. So what I'm talking about is if you've ever had a jaw-dropping admiration for some custom built model and you've had some envy for some of the skills of some of those scratch builders and converters, in this series I'm going to show you some of the basic skills needed to work with Plasticard. So first of all, we're going to talk about what Plasticard is, the types and where to get it from. We're going to look at the tools you need and some of the techniques you can apply to your Plasticard. Let's get into it. Now Plasticard comes mostly in two types, and the most commonly used type that you'll see in most conversions, as you'll see in the ones I'm throwing up on the screen for you now, all of these will have been using what's known as HIPS Plasticard. The other type is called ABS Plasticard. Now you will find ABS a lot cheaper. I have accidentally purchased ABS Plasticard myself a few times when I was actually meaning to buy HIPS. I didn't know of the difference myself until I accidentally bought the ABS type, and then I soon found out, because ABS Plasticard is molecularly much tighter together. It gives a much smoother texture, and it isn't as porous. So when you're trying to apply plastic glues to it, it really just slides across the surface. It doesn't agitate and get into the pores of the plastic enough to agitate it. So what I find you often would need to do in order to glue ABS plastic together would be to file it, rough it up a little bit first, the two pieces that are going to be put together. The other downside to the ABS plastic is it's very brittle. ABS plastic is the same plastic that you would find, say, around your car stereo. It's brittle, as you remember. If you think about your car stereo and that little fascia plate that comes off, they can break very easy. That is ABS plastic. It's used for a lot of appliances, a lot of stuff around the home. It's a very common type of plastic. It's just not very suitable, as you've probably found out if you've tried using ABS plastics that you found around the house in your scratch builds and conversions. You'll find that sometimes you just can't glue your plastic card, your HIPS plastic card, or your Games Workshop plastic to it with plastic glue. It just doesn't seem to work very well. It will eventually work over time, but you'd have to wait hours and clamp it. Both ABS and HIPS plastic come textured or in plain sheets. Usually the sheets would be in an A4 size, although they do come smaller, but generally they'd be in an A4 size, and they will vary in thickness. So the most commonly used, for myself at least, would be 1mm thickness Plasticard. That is my most commonly used Plasticard, although I do use a lot of 0.75 and a lot of 0.5 as well. The benefit of using narrow Plasticards is that you can bulk them up, so you can use several layers to achieve shapes that you wouldn't be able to cut into a thicker Plasticard without it looking awful, or without having to really file it and have a lot of work. It's sometimes easier to use several sheets of thin stuff and apply them as layers and achieve the same effect that way. But we'll look at that in a little more detail in a little while. Before that, let's have a look at some Plasticard, and then we'll talk about where you can get it. Okay guys, so here we have some ABS at 0.5mm and at 1mm, both from Green Stuff World. They are A4. I'm going to take them out of the packet and show you. And I've also got some 0.5, some 0.75 and some 1mm, which I don't have in the packaging either. But I'm going to take these out of the packet and we'll have a little look. Okay guys, so these are both 0.5mm. The A4 sheet here is the ABS, and you can see how shiny that is, right? It's very, very shiny. You can hear the noise. So that's why the glue finds it very difficult to actually melt this plastic properly and actually make it adhere to another piece of this stuff. So that's why I'd recommend you use super glue with the ABS if you're going to use ABS Plasticard. I wouldn't generally use it plain like this. I bought it, like I say, as an accident, but they do some fantastic textured stuff, and that's where I think the use for myself at least would be as a modelling application. So that's that stuff. But this is the stuff that you want, the HIPS plastic. This one is from Evergreen. It's much more, see, it doesn't have that same sound. It's a much more porous plastic. So we'll have a little look at some 1mm now. So that's your 0.5. Now, again, with the 1mm, you can see the difference. One is far shinier, and that's the ABS. And we'll just have a look down the length of it. There we are. See, 1mm. You can maybe see the difference there. See, difference in texture. So ABS, HIPS. I recommend the HIPS. Now there are some tools that I do recommend that you have for cutting Plasticard and working with Plasticard. Firstly, a hobby knife. Now these sorts of hobby knives, you can loosen them off and remove the blade and replace the blades with a fresh blade. It's always good to work with a nice fresh blade. Just watch your fingers, don't do a Steve-O. So yeah, blade, good to have, but this is something, and it's nice to have a good handle as well, nice, something you can hold on to, because I use this mostly for chipping and doing battle damage and trimming edges and stuff like that. I don't use it for the actual cutting out of my Plasticard shapes. What I use for that is something different, and I'll show you now. For that I use a plastic scriber, and this is a fantastic tool by Tamiya. Now you've got this little wheel here, you loosen it off, push it out, and there you have this blade. Now this is to be used for scoring Plasticard. So the other thing you're going to want is a good metal ruler. This one's actually not my good one, this is a damaged bent one, but I've got a few of these things. There's a good one floating around somewhere, but get yourself a steel ruler, and when you're laying it against your Plasticard and you've got your line all lined up, you can score backwards and forwards with this, and it will score a line in your Plasticard for you that then you can then cut it with. So, or just break it back and forth. This will cut all the way through if you keep going backwards and forwards, but there's no need to dull the blade. You know, you can go backwards and forwards, score it a little bit, and then snap it. But if you want an absolutely crisp line, then just carry on going, and Bob's your uncle. Another very useful thing to have is a circle cutter. So let's have a look at this type first. This type, you pull off this here, and you've got this, it's locked at the moment, I believe. There we are. So you slide this open and set it to, there's your compass point, and there's your blade. Set it in the middle and you cut around. Now the blade, these things are very flimsy. They do work. They're better used on sort of 0.5 and 1mm Plasticard. The fine stuff as well, the very thin stuff, but it can get caught on it, and with the very thin stuff it might cause it to wrinkle up, you know, like a paper might. It's a good tool, it's just use it gently, repetitively, rather than trying to push hard, because as you're pushing hard it might, even though you can put the locks on, sometimes it will slide out a little bit. So yeah, it's a good tool. Another one you can get as well is this larger one here. The blade on this one is in here, so you have to pull a little cover off of here, and you put this down on the center and you spin this around and you make your cut that way. Another tool that I consider fairly essential would be a pipe cutter. This is very good for use with your plastic tube. So if you're wanting to cut yourself a piece of plastic tube, you can slide it into the wheel here, tighten this on, and turn it, and it will actually cut it with this blade here, and then you get a nice clean cut rather than using a knife and cutting at a weird angle. So a plumber's pipe slice is also a very valuable tool for when you're working with Plasticard. Another optional tool that I would recommend would be like a power tool, hand tool. So like a Dremel. I don't use a Dremel though, I actually use what's known as a Proxon. So it's a German equivalent. The benefit of the Proxon is that it has a very variable speed, so you can go down to a very, very low rotational speed, and it's adjustable both on here but also on the power source. And the other great thing about it is that this spindle doesn't wobble. And what I found with Dremels and a lot of the cheap brands is that it wobbles too much, so it's very hard to get precision, whereas with the Proxon you're getting more precision. So they're German built, what do you expect, you know? So once you've got one yourself, one of these or an equivalent like a Dremel, you can use some drill bits, which are a valuable thing when you're building and constructing, but with Plasticard more so, you're going to want to use sanding tools and little things like these little balls in here. These are great for texturizing, adding battle damage and stuff like that. So get yourself a tool, get yourself some bits, and you'll find that you'll be able to create a lot more interesting things with your Plasticard if you do. There are other useful tools like this, for example. I haven't even unboxed this one yet. This is a Rivet Maker. My old one, all the wheels have gone rusty, so they're only a £5, so I bought a new one. But we'll go over things like that and rivet making and stuff in a later episode. But I just want to say, like, there are other tools, but the ones I've already discussed are plenty enough to get you started. When it comes to gluing HIPS plastic, at least, the ABS plastic does say that it will work with poly cement, but generally I'd prefer to use super glue and know it's holding in a short space of time. I'm not waiting around forever. But with your HIPS, your standard Plasticard, a polystyrene cement like this one from Revel, Humbrol do one similarly with a pointed tip that comes in a yellow bottle that stands upright. But they also use this. They also make this product, liquid poly with a brush. This is fantastic stuff. I really like this product. I do use this one a lot because of the precision tip and being able to lay it down just where you want it. I'll just show you guys. But you have to keep lighting this, or at least that's how I clear it, with a lighter, because it does block up quite a lot. So you're never going to have that problem with your poly cement because it just comes with a brush. It can be a little bit more messy though, that's the only thing. So it's hard to get just a little bit. Even if you do wipe the sides of wipe the brush off on the sides of the jar, you're still going to have quite a bit on the brush. So precision that, but if you're gluing in bulk, this stuff's great. There's also another one by Revel that is, you know, similar to this one, which is the contact to liquid. It's a lot thicker, as you can see, a lot gloopier. It also has some fantastic uses, but I won't lie, I do prefer the liquid poly over the contact to special liquid. But it's always nice to have options, because there's always a right tool for the right job, you know. So as long as you've got good tools, none of these are bad tools. These are from model companies, so they're good to use. You could get hold of some polystyrene cement that's used for plumbing applications, and it comes in a much bigger tub, and it'll have a big screw lid with a massive thick brush on the end that people use for putting plastic waste pipe together, right? But the trouble is with that is it's ever so messy, and it's thick and gloopy, thicker and gloopier than this, so it's not good for our application, you know. So don't scrimp, get the right stuff. It's well worth it, and it forms a fantastic bond. It basically joins the two plastics together, so they become soft and they start interacting together, and then they set and they stay set, and you will never break that bond apart. In fact, it's just as likely to break somewhere else as it is in that bond. So great product. Now, if you're looking for the ABS Plasticard, it is a little bit cheaper and it does come textured, and there are many uses for it, although I don't think it's anywhere near as useful as the HIPS plastic, but the price reflects that. You can pick some up from Green Stuff World. Green Stuff World are a fantastic website, and they have loads of really useful modelling tools there that you, in a lot of cases, won't find elsewhere because they make a lot of their own stuff. So there's some really, really valuable things there. So I do urge you to go and have a look at Green Stuff World. Check out the ABS Plasticard that they sell. Maybe get a few textured sheets because, you know, maybe if you're wanting to just make a textured platform or something like that with some kick plate texture platform, then that's fine. You can just cut a square of that out. You can glue that down with any old glue. Super glue would do that fine. It's just for the actual building and constructing of models, I would prefer to say to you, buy HIPS Plasticard, because that is what most modelers use, and it's a much more versatile plastic. So if you're looking for HIPS Plasticard, there are a lot of different companies out there, but the two that I use most of the time would be Plastruct and Evergreen. Evergreen are a little bit easier to get hold of, I find. Plastruct seem to have fallen by the wayside in the last sort of 10 or 15 years. They're becoming very difficult to get your hands on. There are also Plasticard available from Humbrol. I haven't used it myself, but a fellow YouTuber, Morgan Gork, he uses Humbrol Plasticard some of the time, and he says that it's actually far superior to the other Plasticards, although it is far more expensive. So it's up to yourself. There's different grades and different qualities, but you can't go wrong with a bit of Evergreen, especially if you're starting out. So that's where I suggest you should start, with some Evergreen Plasticard. The next thing is, of course, plastic rod and plastic tube. So apart from buying Plasticard in sheet format, you can also buy it in a rod format. So there's lots of different shapes that you can actually buy. You can actually buy I-beam sections. You can buy hollow tubes, and you can buy solid tubes. You can buy little the same way as if you go to a timber merchant's and you see all those different edgings that you can buy with the nice sort of contours cut on them. You can get a lot of Plasticard like that with little curves cut into them and all sorts of things, because a lot of these Plasticard and plastic rod products are used for building architectural buildings, plans of, you know, for showing off how a house might look and stuff like that. So they're used for a lot of professional applications, not just for our model gaming. They're actually used for professional models too. So yeah, there's lots and lots and lots of different ones out there you can get, and I really do recommend that you get a few. But one thing I will say is, whenever you're buying, like, say this for example is a strip, a thin strip. Now that is, just by looking at it, I can tell you that's well, actually I'll say that's between 0.5 and 0.75 thick, probably 0.5. But I tend to buy things like that in the same thicknesses as the Plasticard that I use. There's no point me buying a bunch of 0.5 sticks and then I'm going using 0.33 Plasticard. Is, you know, I like to use the same sizes or the same increments. So I use 0.5, 0.75 and 1 mil. That way I know that it's either this or this. Sometimes I mix it up. I've got some thicker bits, I've got some 2 mil, and I've got some very thin bits, but I keep them in a drawer separate so they don't get mixed up, and you can very well tell anyway just by looking. You can see the difference. So, but get yourself some plastic rods too, because these are really good, really useful, and really bloody expensive too, but they're a modeller's best friend. And in the long run, you save yourself some money, you make yourself something unique, and you become the envy of every other war boss, don't you? In later episodes of this series, we're going to be taking a look at what you can do with Plasticard. I'm going to show you some basic techniques. So we're going to make some armor plates, we're going to make some exhaust stacks, some guns, some all sorts of bits and bobs. Simple stuff mostly, but stuff that is going to help you with your custom builds, especially if you're new to Plasticard, so you can give them that little personalised edge too.
I received this from a dear friend, Roshan Pereira, who is Mork and Gork, and you should go and check out his channel because his builds are way better than mine. He's incredible. But he sent me this. What up, you get? The gods have been blessing you with some proper candies and some rockers as well. Cheers, Mork and Gork. Now, by the rockers, he's talking about some goth rockers, because I said to him I never had the goth rockers. I always wanted them, I never had them. And they're in metal and you can't get them anymore. But he has actually done some home casts for me as a little present. So there we are. I've got some home cast goth rockers. Didn't charge me for them, so no crimes have been committed. They're freebies. They're just a friendly gift. Cool. Really, really appreciate that. Always wanted some. Can't wait to paint them up. And also, the purpose of him sending this little package was to partake in my challenge where I was asking people to send me sweets. So he's got some Got and Blandat original, which they look like hard candy sweets. I was asking people to send me sweets to try it on the channel, because I've got some American ones to try out. So now I've got some Swedish ones to try out. We've also got some Bilar originals. Don't know what they look like. They're nice, soft candy things. Yeah, yummy yum. I'm going to try them out. We've got some cola cubes, maybe, I don't know, John whatever, something original. It could be licorice, actually, sugar coated licorice or something like that. Interesting. And last but not least, have a chocolate candy bar. I'm sure that says milk chocolate. Yes, I am right. So I'm going to try these out just now. What up, you get? This is me doing a Mork and Gork camera level view. I'm doing it Mork and Gork style. Go and check out his channel, you'll see what I mean. This is a very common angle. So let's have a little look. Let's start with these, because these look very simple. Okay, we'll start with a yellow one. Oh, cool. Okay, so it's got a little, I don't know whether that's like a face of an Easter Island head, or whether that's like someone, like a banana screaming. I'm not quite sure. I don't know if you guys can see that. That's actually quite funky. I like that. See that? That's weird, isn't it? So let's eat the screaming banana Zulu mask face thing. It's nice. It's really nice. Don't know what flavour that was though. It wasn't a banana. It was nice though. Red ones, that's got to be a raspberry. It is. Oh, licorice. Licorice in with fruits. That's weird. The red one was really nice. Well, that's harder than the other ones. Huh. You'd have thought they put a really soft licorice in, as soon as they're soft jelly sweets. That's weird. But they're just really soft jellies with some tough as licorice. I like the Swedish style, mixing it up. That's got to be an orange, because that's a segment of an orange. So what the naffing hell is that then? That is a terrified face. Like, the others are actually fruit things, which makes sense. That's orange. The green one, well, that one, that's a pineapple. What's a square? A square with a cross in it. What kind of symbol is that? What fruit is that? I know what that is. Yummy. Anyway, cool. Interesting. My friends are going to enjoy those too. Right, these ones. Oh, okay. We've got white, blue, and pink. Let's try white. Oh, they're little racing cars. Ah, that's what they are, I think. Maybe. Or maybe they're... Oh. Yeah, I think they're like little racing cars, or pigs, or sharks, or... I don't know. Oh, the pink one's really nice. Yeah. They're tasty, but they've got a slightly medicated taste to them too. The white one, creamy. I think the white one's like a cream. Try another pink one. I think the pink one's sort of pink bubble gum, which leads me to think that these blue ones, I'm going to do two together so I can really tell. I think they're going to be like blue bubble gum, that's my guess. Or the flavour of it, at least. Yeah, kind of is, I think. Unless I've now convinced myself of that. Yeah. Oh, I really like them. They're nice. Yeah, I could definitely sit there and eat a pack of those. I'm not so sure I'm going to share them with my friends so much, them ones. Now the Dungelverol. Dungelverol. Whatever. They're liquish in sugar by the looks of it. Oh, fuck me. Oh, sour sweet. No, it's not. Oh, that's salt. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, why would you do that? Oh, that's real nasty. Sugar. Oh, sugar. That's not salt. That's definitely salt on them. Blimey. Salt, yeah. Ransand salt. Motherfucker. Why would you ruin perfectly good liquids by putting salt on it? Oh, that's an assault, that is. You enjoy that, Roshan? Blimey. Okay. That's definitely a share with... Sorry about the jolt. That is definitely... That's definitely a Mork and Gork's... A little bit more Mork and Gork effects there going on. See? So, yeah. Definitely going to be sharing them ones with friends. Going to share these with friends, but not as much. These ones I'm not sharing. Now for the chocolate. The milk chocolate. The Swedish milk chocolate. Let's have a little look. Oh, it's got a W on it, like Wonka. I'm actually an M for Mondelez, I presume. Oh, it's like that M. Oh, that's really smooth. Oh. Oh, that's a really nice milk chocolate. Cool, that is really nice. Cool. Tell you what, you've got some really nice chocolate. I'm going to save the rest of that. That's not getting shared at all. That's definitely just for the dread. And I think this is going to be for enjoying a little square in the evening, nice and slow. I'm not going to rush it down like I just did for you guys. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I want to look out for that next time I'm abroad. I like that one. Okay, guys, I hope you like my little feature, extra feature there. I'm going to be sending Mork and Gork some Irish sweets and goodies. Or British Irish, same thing really, same difference. I want to send him some stuff over, and you might be able to see that on his channel. He might do that on his channel. I'm not sure if he will or what, but I'll show you. If he does, I'll tell you about it. Otherwise, if you guys want to get involved, send Dread some sweets, some candy even from your own country. Do that and I'll send you some from mine and we can have a little taste off again. Alright?
I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, please like it and leave a comment down below. Make sure you join the Dread Wargaming Facebook group, of course. Share my videos, send me money, build a massive statue to me, all that sort of stuff. And we'll see you in the next one. So, if you've been looking on in envy at other people's fantastic, customised, personalised, converted or scratch-built armies, and you're wondering, how do I do that? Join the club.